Hi, I'm Melanie with Real Estate Experts, and today I have my preferred lender, Audrey Hutton with Cross Country Mortgage. Hey, Audrey.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, Melanie.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So today I thought we would talk about the importance of being pre-approved. I have so many clients who say to me, we want a house hunt first, and then get pre-approved. So could you tell us why it's really important to have that pre-approval up front before previewing homes?
Absolutely. And my heart breaks every time we probably get, I'm not even kidding you, 3 to 5 emergency calls a week from people that are in a contract and all of a sudden they don't qualify. You guys, this is the number one reason why you absolutely want to get pre-approved before you're home shopping. So here's typically what happens. Most people just kind of, Google or look for information online. Every information that I've ever looked as far as qualifying factors, taxes, insurance, mortgage insurance, it's always incorrect because it's based on national information. It's usually undercut. So people have a false sense of what they can qualify for, as well as how the government and the banks and investors look at your income is very different than how you think you might be paid. For example, you might know that you earn a bonus, or you might have fluctuating income, or maybe you know what your credit score is. Once we look at all that information, it may or may not be approved with the bank that we're rate shopping you with. So, you might know your information, but how it's looked at is completely different. And there are rules and guidelines that we have to follow with that. So ultimately, it's your money that's at risk. And so by getting pre-approved and having a legitimate lender look at everything, it's just going to make sure that you're safe. It's going to make sure that you're aware of accurate numbers and can really look at the payment to make sure it's affordable and actually what you qualify for. So it's really just a protection for you to make sure that everything goes smooth and that you don't lose your deposit if something happens and it's not validated ahead of time.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, can you kind of break it down for us and tell us what the difference is between a pre-approval and a pre-qualification? I have a lot of clients who come to me and say, well, we're pre-qualified. So what's the difference there?
Yeah. So usually a pre-qualification is not based on any solid information. A pre-qualification is usually when we chat with clients and they're like, hey, here's what I make, here's what my credit score is, what would I qualify for? So it's based on very general information. I'll give an example of something that is a real life example that can happen. So we had a client a couple years ago, excellent credit, made tons of money, got pre-approved with a different lender. He called me. It was actually a family member, unfortunately. So they went with them as a lender. He called me about 3 weeks into being into contract and said, I got denied. There's nothing that they can do. So you would think, why would this person who has excellent credit, his credit score was in the 800s and makes so much money, get denied? Well, that's what the pre-approval does. The difference between the pre-qual and pre-approval is that the pre-qual, we're just using general information that you tell us. Okay, we're not pulling credit, we're not verifying your information or looking at your documents. So with this particular gentleman, he ended up having something on his credit report that was unacceptable to that jumbo lender, even though the credit score was great. So that's why it's so important to look at everything. The pre-approval will look at everything in detail. How long your trade lines have been there, how much you have in reserves, what is your debt to income ratio, do you get bonus or fluctuating income, how long have you been at that company? There's literally hundreds of things that we review during a pre-approval that you do not get with the pre-qual. So the pre-qual is a general guideline. The pre-approval is you're legitimately ready to make offers and you're solid on what you're aiming for.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for explaining that. That helps a lot.
Yeah,
And that's
for
why I love
sure.
to call my lender and just make sure, the pre-approval is all good and see how all the clients are doing with those. So thanks for explaining those too.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, thanks for asking.
Yeah. So I'm Melanie Giacomo with Real Estate Experts, Audrey Hutton at Cross Country Mortgage. Thanks again, Audrey.
Thanks, guys.